I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right, granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she's in jail.
Apparently that's not good. She's a victim. She might be a victim. I know that a lot of people don't care about hypocrisy. No one really cares about hypocrisy, but this might perhaps be a bridge too far. I feel like this is, potentially releasing a pedophile sex trafficker while simultaneously calling her a victim is definitely a bridge too far, man. What are we doing here? What the hell is going on? Remember when I said that Ghislaine Maxwell is probably going to get a pardon? And then everyone was like, there's no way. That seems insane. And it turns out that's exactly what we are moving towards. New, Ghislaine Maxwell, whose source told ABC News, initiated the meetings with the Department of Justice, answered questions for about 9 hours over 2 days after being granted limited form of immunity. The so-called proffer immunity is commonly granted to individuals prosecutors are seeking to make cooperators in a criminal case. Maxwell has already been tried, convicted, and sentenced for sex trafficking underage girls. Ghislaine Maxwell just gave the DOJ info on 100 different people, according to her lawyer. Wee woo. So this is just immunity within the discovery process, but I feel like there are additional immunities that are on the pipeline. Donald Trump earlier today actually said, I have the power to pardon her if I want to. This is what Charlie Kirk wanted. Charlie Kirk proposes offering Ghislaine Maxwell something in exchange for the testimony regarding Epstein. Maxwell is currently sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking, but is pursuing a claim that her trial was unfair. Maybe some kind of deal could be reached for information. Oh my God. They are literally going to cook the books. Oh my God. Ghislaine Maxwell wasn't just a criminal party to the conspiracy to sex traffic minors. She also was an assaulter of minors herself, according to victim testimony. Okay, witness testimony as well, but victim testimony. Okay, she was doing the things. She was right there with Jeffrey Epstein doing the same crimes as Jeffrey Epstein. The fact that this administration, who's supposed to be anti-pedophilia, is now going to give her a sentence commutation in exchange for whatever kind of information that she's going to be giving them that is favorable to the administration's side, while simultaneously they refuse to reveal what the discovery showed, what the investigations into all of the financial dealings between Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and numerous other third parties. The fact that they are actively sheltering the public from knowing who the other co-conspirators were, while simultaneously leaving it up to an famously unreliable orator who herself has perjured on numerous occasions to defend other co-conspirators like Prince Andrews, and even perjured to defend herself, to lie to defend herself, and then famously got convicted anyway in spite of her perjury, is crazy. Newsmax has begun referring to Ghislaine Maxwell as a victim. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, it's happening. It's already happening.
Now, Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyer has confirmed they are in discussions with the federal government about holding discussions. Maxwell is currently sentenced to 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking, but is pursuing a claim that her trial was unfair. Since she is still contesting her own case, that may impact what she is ready to tell prosecutors. But maybe some kind of a deal could be reached for information. We will see.
What the holy Yeah, I mean, I guess Jeffrey Epstein was a victim too. Everyone's a victim. Ghislaine Maxwell is the ringleader. What are we talking about? She was the second in command in the pedophilia sex trafficking operation. What are we talking about? It's wild to me that this administration simultaneously keeps saying like every undocumented migrant is like a rape file that needs to be forcibly excised from the land and sent to a concentration camp surrounded by alligators. Meanwhile, you have one of the most notorious pedophile sex traffickers who's in prison, and they're like, we should release her because her testimony will be favorable to our side. I know that a lot of people don't care about hypocrisy. No one really cares about hypocrisy, but this might perhaps be a bridge too far. I feel like this is, potentially releasing a pedophile sex trafficker while simultaneously calling her a victim is definitely a bridge too far, man. What are we doing here? What the hell is going on?
Been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be. There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right, granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good, but she's in jail.
Apparently, that's not good. She's a victim. She might be a victim. Yeah, Charles Manson, simply a victim. If Ghislaine Maxwell is a victim, even though she was convicted for sex trafficking minors, procuring minors for sex trafficking, and also participating in the acts herself, in the criminal acts herself, if she is a victim, who is the perpetrator? Jeffrey Dahmer, real victim here. Who amongst us hasn't been hungry? You know, that type of Harvey Weinstein, a real victim. They're dabbing on us, folks. Oh, no, for sure. This is 100%. They are. At this point, is pretty obvious. It's like, if you are incredibly wealthy, if you're a wealthy elite, if you're a socialite, the media, or at least the right wing as it stands currently, will do everything in their power to liberate you. What incentive do news media or right-wing influencers have running cover for Maxwell or Trump at this point? Is it just to stay on Trump's good side because they think he's invincible? Are they not if the base does not end up turning on him? The incentive here is clear. Donald Trump wants to pack this up, okay? And he realizes that there's blood in the water, and a lot of people are very angry and resentful in his own base of support for refusing to reveal some of this information. And now they're asking questions about how much Trump was involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So considering that there is plenty of financial dealings and plenty of ties that the Trump administration would not want to be revealed because they want to protect societal elites, regardless of party politics, they most likely are looking for an out here. Okay, they're looking for an out for Trump. And it's clear to me that through the pardoning or sentence commutation process, Ghislaine Maxwell will very clearly play ball with the admin and offer them that out, especially because there's nothing to check Ghislaine's testimony against because we don't have access. We're not privy to this information that was discovered in the process of her conviction. That's the reason why people want this information to be out there. Do you understand? So if she is the only sole surviving person that can offer testimony to who she and Jeffrey Epstein were involved with, we don't have any access, and they will never release the materials that actually, expand on that, the materials that they could use to check her testimony against. Then she is the primary narrator here to her own criminal behavior. And because she has an incentive to lie and to defend Donald Trump here very clearly, she's going to take this opportunity to say whatever the fuck wants. Yeah, when they pardon the British lady after she says George Soros and the Bill Clinton were main clients, I don't think MAGA is going to move on. Egg prices are going to explode, and they're going to loop it all back to Comet Pizza. They're going to get her to say the only people involved with Epstein were the Clintons and Bill Gates. Trump wasn't involved, and in exchange she'll be commuted or pardoned, and Trump will be absolved among his base. I don't think so. I think there will be definitely more people in Trump's base that will be on board with this now because it's like they desperately want to hang on to anything that makes Trump look good here. There is that sense of desperation that's setting in, especially right now when Trump actively keeps saying, shut up about Jeffrey Epstein, don't talk about it. And these guys are like, but please, sir, give us something. Like the Alex Joneses of the world are like, please give us something. What the are you saying? What the are you doing? Why do you keep calling us idiots for caring about this thing that you said we should care about? It's making me kind of feel like you might have been a pedophile dealing with Jeffrey Epstein yourself, right? So I think that there will be a larger number of people in his base that will buy it, but I don't think everyone will buy it. I think this will continue.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if she cooperated?
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something.
Recommended it.
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir.
Why has the dollar?
He literally said he's like, I'm allowed to do it. I could pardon her if I want to.
For Ghislaine Maxwell if she
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really something.
Recommended it.
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
I'm allowed to do it. I haven't thought about it. He has thought about it. In your estimation, how does this end? I mean, there are numerous different ways that this could go. I think that Ghislaine Maxwell comes out and basically gives like a couple random, irrelevant, powerless people ultimately as like major players, presents them as like major power players. I suspect that it'll be heavily ideologically slanted in Trump's favor, like Democrats, only Democrats, or maybe dead ones, right? Like you can throw a lot of allegations in the way of the dead. Some of them will be real clients as well, for sure. right? Yeah, maybe some rhinos, something like that. Yeah, his new strategy is to say, look at Bill Clinton or the president of Harvard, which, by the way, Bill Clinton is involved. So there will be some real people that actually did get involved with Jeffrey Epstein. So you'll see that. But the real reason as to why Ghislaine Maxwell will offer this testimony is to basically absolve Donald Trump of wrongdoing. Because that's the only thing he cares about. I think that's what's going to happen here. Look, Trump on Epstein. You should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You guys should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys live with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't.
Well, he's a professional lawyer. I think he's been through.
Yeah, unlike you, those guys are keeping quiet because they know their level of involvement, which is high. But you are the one who is the president, and you are the one who literally said there was no list and then said, oh, the list is actually a Democrat hoax. And now you're saying there is a list. Now that Ghislaine Maxwell is ready to compromise some people, all of a sudden there's a list again? You're just giving up names from this list? Which, by the way, he's not even wrong. Because, as I've said time and time again from the beginning of this story, pedophilia is a bipartisan endeavor amongst the elite, okay? It is not like a Republican or Democrat issue. It is objectively bipartisan. Do you understand? Yeah, it's uniparty. It's like defending Israel's uniparty, constantly finding more money in the couch cushions for the military's uniparty. And of course, the pedophilic acts is bipartisan and uniparty amongst our elite, or sex crimes in general. But doesn't this go back to the mutually assured destruction? If he snitches, they will take him down with them. We'll see. That's why I think it won't be like anyone super significant. There are two competing interests here. Trump wants something that has meat. Okay. Trump wants a name that the base will laser in on, something that holds weight, like a Bill Clinton. Okay. But also, if you go after someone like Bill Clinton and he holds the cards here, he knows the secrets, he can then turn around and counter nuke, right? As I've said from the start, it's mutually assured pedophile destruction. So if Trump releases a nuclear alt against someone like Bill Clinton or Bill Gates, then they can turn around and launch it themselves to be like, I saw you at the party. You know what I mean? Also, remember, these guys are very incompetent. Remember that. The Trump administration is incredibly incompetent, which means there's still an opportunity for them to this up. So even if they try to create like a narrative that will at least like soothe the interests of the masses, the MAGA base, there is a very high likelihood that they can still on the delivery side and make this an even larger story. So I'm banking on that, as a matter of fact. I think that will be a major part of this.
Things like this before, but you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much. Mr. President, should not be part of the
I sure as hell didn't live with Jeffrey Epstein. I simply sent him beautiful letters. Beautiful, beautiful letters. Beautiful letters. We share secrets. Many secrets. Ooh, mystery.
This morning, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche has more questions for Jeffrey Epstein's former companion, Ghislaine Maxwell.
Do you have anything to say today?
Sources told ABC News Maxwell initiated the meeting as she appeals her conviction and tries to get out of a 20-year prison sentence. Her attorney told us she answered every question.
What kind of questions? Well, we don't want to get into the substance of the questions. There were a lot of questions, and we went all day, and she answered every one of them. She never just said, I'm not going to answer, never declined.
It's almost unheard of for a convicted sex trafficker to meet with such a high-ranking Justice Department official, the one who used to be the president's top criminal defense attorney.
Wow.
If this meeting...
Wow. Isn't that crazy? The president's lawyer is now the deputy attorney general. And as the president's lawyer, now the deputy attorney general, he is the one in charge of listening to the testimony of Ghislaine Maxwell. No conflict of interest here, folks. Nothing to see here. Yeah. No, this is perfectly reliable. Whatever she says will certainly not absolve Donald Trump because, they preordained it. It'll absolve Trump because it's the truth. That's right. It's simply the truth. It's simply the truth that Trump had no involvement whatsoever I guess basically what I suspect Ghislaine Maxwell will say is, given that there is extensive relationships that are obviously out and about, out in public between Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, the only way out of this that absolves Donald Trump is to, I think, say that Trump stopped talking to Jeffrey Epstein in 2003 and then never had any contact whatsoever and hated Jeffrey Epstein or something. You know what I mean? That's what I think is going to happen here. Like, I think she's basically going to work actively to absolve Trump. And a part of that will be to, use the information that we do know and then say, see, Trump had no contact whatsoever with Jeffrey Epstein. I just do not think that Ghislaine is going to come out and be like, Trump was literally kids with Jeffrey Epstein. Like, there's just not going to happen, okay? I don't think that she is going to reveal any new information, and I think she is going to perjure herself again and again, but this time she has all of the opportunity to perjure herself. She has every opportunity to lie. She has an incentive to lie, and she is probably going through the readily available information right now to figure out exactly how to lie so that it can't be contradicted by publicly available information. Do you understand? And now we know, according to New York Post, not the most reliable, but she was given a document box yesterday, and today she has delivered 100 different people linked to Jeffrey Epstein, according to New York Post.